Last week, President Trump once again became the focus of heated controversy when he insisted during an interview with ABC News that the letters MS-13 were actually tattooed on the fingers of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the undocumented migrant who was deported from Maryland to El Salvador. Here with the latest on the fallout from this interview and Trump's tattoo-related comments is our senior political correspondent. What is the White House saying today about this disagreement between the President of the United States and the unknown ABC News reporter he plucked from anonymity for this interview?
Well, as you said, President Trump's argument regarding Abrego Garcia's tattoos in this interview has made him the center of controversy.
And that's the only reason.
Correct. There's no other reason why President Trump has been the subject of controversy recently, nor should there be. As for the White House, they are standing behind President Trump's insistence that those letters and numbers, MS-13, are in fact tattooed on Abrego Garcia's knuckles.
Not surprising.
Nor is it surprising how much boldness and courage President Trump is showing as he pushes back against these attempts by ABC News and others to smear him as some kind of oblivious buffoon who can't tell the difference between an actual physical feature captured in a photograph and a label referring to that feature added to the photograph after the fact.
What sort of pushback is President Trump pursuing?
For starters, the president will be distributing an annotated version of the now famous photograph of Kilmar Abrego Garcia's hand with the MS-13 tattoos. In this new version, the MS-13 characters have been circled in red and are also indicated by a series of arrows pointing at each individual letter or number, which, for anyone like that nameless reporter from a TV network I've already forgotten the name of who still questions if those characters are actually there, should make them pretty hard to miss.
And just to avoid any confusion, the red circles and arrows are not actually tattooed on Kilmar Abrego Garcia's hand, correct?
Correct. They have been added for the sake of clarity, as should be obvious to anyone of even low to moderate intelligence who views the image.
Also, for the sake of our viewers, I should explain that the text you are now seeing on the screen, in addition to the image of the annotated photograph, identifying the annotated photograph as such and crediting it to the White House, is additional explanatory information that we have added for our television broadcast, and those words are not actually physically part of the image. Are there any other actions President Trump is taking in response to this tattoo controversy?
Not directly. However, I'm told by White House sources who spoke to me on the condition that I grant them anonymity and half of the sushi burrito I got for lunch from Fatfish that President Trump's experience with the Abrego Garcia tattoo picture has given him a new sense of the importance of making sure that everyone can have confidence that the photographs they see are accurate representations of their subjects. To that end, earlier today, the President signed an executive order directing that all boundaries and labels displayed on satellite images through online navigation services be carved directly into the Earth. That way, if you go into space, the United States will look exactly like it looks on Google Maps.
That sounds like an ambitious engineering project, to say the least. Any idea when construction of these massive and informative geoglyphs will begin?
As soon as possible. The first and largest of the labels to be created will be the one identifying the United States itself. Federal agents are currently carrying out the evacuation of the small community of Anton, Colorado, so construction can begin on the U.
What a time to be alive.
My thoughts exactly. I did also manage to snag a very brief, very informal interview with the president himself as he was leaving the Oval Office on his way to the East Room to attend a special performance of Springtime for Scott Peterson, the new one-man show by Dean Cain. And I asked President Trump if he has plans to apply life-size map labels to the planet Earth beyond those that are planned for the continental U.S. He said they are currently exploring several options that would allow them to anchor massive floating letters offshore, which would enable the creation of a label for the recently renamed Gulf of America. President Trump said, quote, "We're going to label the Gulf of America, just like it says on all the maps, the real maps, the ones that follow the law, which is us, And once that's in place, I'd like to see how the fake news will still try to say it's not called the Gulf of America when it says Gulf of America right on it, and all you have to do is fly over it in an airplane or maybe a spaceship, and you can see that it says Gulf of America right there.
A leader of vision. Thanks for the report. Up next, flu season may be over, but measles season is still going strong. I'll talk to our lifestyle correspondent about some of the hottest new trends in children's caskets. That's after the break.